This is an election year. 3 months, the primaries. 8 months, the big one. We cannot let this election cycle go by without throwing whatever weight around that we can. In 2011, we got run over by a Mack truck in the state legislature. If we don't get organized and involved this year, we will be roadkill again. That doesn't have to happen. And this year, with so much marijuana stuff going on everywhere, we can't let it happen. There are voter initiatives throughout the country, including 2 states, which will have marijuana legalization measures on the ballot. Marijuana is now on the nation's radar screen, and we have to make sure it stays there. When the issue of medical marijuana and marijuana law reform is brought up for discussion, we win because reason and rationality are firmly on our side. With the latest Gallup poll showing slightly more than 50% of Americans agree that marijuana should be legalized. It is a discussion that we cannot allow to be swept under the rug. There are 1 million medical marijuana patients in California and probably around 50,000 or more in the Inland Empire. Add in everyone else who uses marijuana just recreationally, we can exceed 100,000 people here in the IE. Then add in those who, like in the Gallup poll, just believe it's time to get over it and legalize it. We could arguably looking at the majority. Although this issue may be of more than just passing interest to most of these voters, it is not the only issue that will be vying for their attention and support. That's where you come in. Working together, we can make it their issue too, by seeing to it that every candidate throughout the Inland Empire has to openly and publicly discuss it. Now, as I said at the beginning of this little missive, last year we got run over by a Mack truck in the state legislature, with several very, very bad bills getting passed by outrageous majorities, and the few good ones never even remotely getting close. This legislative session looks as bad, and with AB 2552, which sets a zero tolerance level for marijuana for anyone driving, 2012 can make 2011 look benign by comparison. But because of redistricting, the dynamics of many state legislative races have changed. They are competitive. And currently, many elected state officials are going to be out there working to convince voters to send them back to Sacramento. Plus, there's going to be a whole new crop of newbies wanting to knock them off their pedestal and urging you to send them instead to Sacramento. Now, then there are all the local elections for city councils and county boards, and they want your vote too. These are the people who are collared in back rooms by the local chief of police and in hushed tones warned of all the dangers that will befall the community if medical marijuana is allowed to be reasonably accessible. And especially they are warned of the dangers of not getting the cops gold stars to put on their re-election ads. It is only during this brief period of time before an election that we truly have the opportunity to confront these people and openly argue for reasonable regulations and licensing requirements. As much as they don't want it, they will be in a public dialogue with us and maybe actually start wondering if they are losing more votes than they are gaining by genuflecting before their chiefs of police. Now, if you've gone this far with me, then not only I'm sure you get the picture, but you are understanding that something needs to be done so that we do not let this opportunity to advance the cause of cannabis consumption slip through our fingers. Now, this is going to be the major topic under discussion at the Wednesday, April 4th, Marijuana Anti-Prohibition Project meeting in Riverside, and also on the Saturday, April 7th meeting in Palm Springs. Focusing on AB 2552, the bill that imposes zero tolerance for cannabis drivers, we will use that as a springboard to plan how to contact our state and local elected officials during the campaign heat season. We need to defeat this onerous piece of legislation, and it won't happen if we do nothing. In fact, it will be guaranteed to pass if we do nothing. Now, If the Inland Empire Patients Health and Wellness Center, the collective that operates in Riverside, who's currently before the Supreme Court, if they win their court case, and cities and counties cannot ban collectives, and this is an outcome that many attorneys believe is exactly what's going to happen, then these elected officials will have no choice but to draft licensing requirements and regulations. We better have a seat at the table when these ordinances are being drafted. There is no better time than right now to let these elected city officials know that we expect to have a seat at the table in public before concerned citizens, and not in some back office where no one knows we are even there. Now, we're going to be talking about this at this meeting. And we haven't done this for a while, and a marijuana get out the vote and take control strategy meeting seems kind of appropriate. So we're going to make this meeting an ice cream and dessert social. We're going to have ice cream and punch and coffee. And hey, if you'd like to bring some treats, please do so, but no medicated treats, okay? Yes, we have a serious agenda on board for the meeting on Wednesday, April 4th in Riverside and Saturday, April 7th in Palm Springs. But we're also cannabis consumers, and we know to have a good time, even when rolling up our sleeves to get to work. So here's where the meetings are going to be. Wednesday, April 4th, 7:30 p.m. The meeting will be at the THCF Patient Center in Riverside. The address is 647 Main Street, Riverside, 92501. And the meeting in Palm Springs is going to be on Saturday, April 7th at 11:30 a.m. at Crystal Fantasy, 268 North Palm Canyon in downtown Palm Springs, 92262, directly across the street from the Hyatt Regency. Hey, you want to talk to me? You can get some more information. You can always give our phone number a call, 760-799-2055. 760-799-2055. Plus, you can always tune into our radio show, too. It's on every Monday at 6 o'clock on Inland Empire Talk radio station, KCAA 1050 AM. You can also hear on the internet at www.kcaaradio.com. In fact, coming up on Monday is going to be Dale Geringer talking about Assembly Bill 2552 and a report on what's going on in the Thousand Palms area with all the collectives there in the county trying to close them down. Hey, I hope to see you at one or both of the meetings coming up here, the meeting on Wednesday, April 4th, the meeting on Saturday, April 7th. We've got a lot to discuss. We've got a lot to do. Please be part of the solution.